Good morning from A Bit Twisted. Here we have another wheel from Chico Flax. This is a much smaller wheel. Got a much smaller diameter flywheel. Average size flyer, bobbin, and whorl. This particular wheel has a plate here on the bottom that's got a hinge underneath and a screw knob which lifts to tighten and back it off, and it drops down to loosen up your drive band. This wheel is a double drive wheel, and this wheel is also a Scotch Tension wheel. So right now it's set up as Scotch Tension. You can see my little tension drive here. Has leather bushings on both sides and has two bobbins. Originally came with three, but only has two. This bobbin here has a small chip in it, but does not affect the usefulness of this bobbin. This could be replaced, getting a small piece of wood and gluing it on there, and then just shape it to the shape. Would work with good quality wood glue if you were so inclined. A lot of people leave things chipped and they work just fine. It has a metal piece in the front to hold the bobbin. There are places like a place called Spirit Wood that can reproduce and repair bobbins, flyers, a number of spinning wheel parts. And I had them do that with another wheel, and their work is very good. I highly recommend them. This wheel also has a loose leg that needs to be tightened up. I would suggest a piece of wood to tighten it up and not to glue it. Most spinning wheels should be hooked together with wood pins and dowels to allow them to be dismantled and taken apart. A lot of people will glue them when they should not be glued, because once it's glued, you can't get it apart, and then you're stuck. So anyway, the loose leg at this point does not affect how this spinning wheel works. And this wheel, I have 4 hooks here. Originally there was 5, and then there was a big gap. And so the big gap was not the best. So what I did is I took one hook, drilled a pilot hole over here, and put another hook in. So now we have 6 hooks on this side, which actually fills the bobbin a little better. You could drill another pilot hole, get 2 hooks, and put hooks in. The finish on this wheel is good. I would say all it needs is good polishing. Does not need refinished. It's in really good shape. The treadle on this wheel is more of a heel-toe type setup, where your heel is on the treadle at the point of the support bar for the treadle, and the center of your heel, and then part of it overhangs a little bit, and it tends to be a heel and toe situation for treadling. The flywheel here has enough mass to it, even though it's small. It's easy to treadle this wheel. This wheel, in either Scotch Tension or double drive, spins flax really well. This, at this point, I would say is the better of the wheels for flax, but both wheels do spin flax. So I'm going to show you this one in Scotch Tension mode. And this wheel has a built-in orifice hook. This wheel can do more art yarn type because the orifice is much larger and the hooks are much larger. So you can actually have a much thicker yarn with this wheel than you can the other wheel. And if you prefer double drive, it's easy. Unhook the Scotch Tension, flip one of these over to the bobbin, and you're in double drive. And again, this drive band is heavy linen cordage that I made with the flax that I spun up into linen, and then I made cordage out of it to make a drive band for these two wheels, and very strong. This is a 6-to-1 and 7 1/4 to 1 ratio. And the tension on this is just enough to pull, and I can pull back on it. If you have tension too tight, it's going to try and yank it out of your hands, and I don't think you really want that to happen. It's not a fun thing when yarn gets yanked out of your hand when you're not ready. So learn your tensions. All that stuff for both Scotch Tension and double drive. You may find you like double drive better. I do. I prefer double drive over Scotch Tension. My old other wheel, Ashford wheel that I have is a combination like this one, where I can use either or. And I prefer the double drive versus the Scotch Tension. But everybody has their preference. And again, I spin thin. I spin thin because I make wool for my sock machine. Makes nice wool, thin wool thread for the sock machine to make really nice wool socks. And so that is Scotch Tension. So let's show you how easy this is. So unhook it from the hook, drop that off to the side, grab a drive band, swing it around, and now you're in double drive mode. Might have to readjust tension. Yep. So I got to tighten it up a little bit. It doesn't take much. You can feel it. But you do want enough tension to where you know that it's going to constantly feed in, but not quite yank it out of your hand, where you still have control. And we do. And we still have good control. And so this is a nice, clean little wheel. And again, with this wheel, any part that's a moving part, including the shaft that the bobbin is on, needs to be oiled. Doesn't necessarily have to be slathered in oil, just a little drops of oil. I tend to get hops oil or hoops oil. It's a gun oil that has a little container with a skinny little tip on it for oiling. It's a lubricating oil, hoppies, and this allows you to get direct little tiny bit of oil there, a little bit there on the shaft for the bobbin, a little on the bobbin shaft, a little bit more on the back bearing. And then on the axle shaft, and those are the places that need lubrication. And, you can keep that handy because you may find you want to have oil on hand. Helps keep things quiet. So any part that rubs is a candidate to have oil. And this particular wheel, you may want to sit back a little bit further from the wheel rather than close like I am right now. Make it easier to treadle. So you need to find your comfortable position to treadle and draft and spin. You do not have to do this right up at the orifice. You can actually have your yarn way back and just feed it in from there. If you're a seasoned spinner, it should be no problem to get this little wheel set up. This is a typical style of wheel for flax spinning. It does not have provision for a distaff, but it is a nice little wheel. So whoever gets this wheel, I hope you enjoy it fully. And if there's any questions, you can talk to the people over at Chico Flax, and they can refer you to me. And I will be happy to help you out, whether you're spinning flax or wool, either one. And there you go. The treadling is different on this wheel just because of the way the treadle is than on some other wheels, but it's fine. It's good. So there you have it. If you're the one seeing this video that gets this wheel, enjoy it. It's a good little wheel.